Hey everyone, welcome to the Bridge the Gap DFS channel on YouTube. Wanted to, again, just try to give you guys a little bit of nuggets every single day of something that might have happened the night before and what we can learn from it. So last night, we're in our second day of the NBA, and we have our first injury news. So there are two things I want to show you guys about how to overcome the scenario. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is what happens when we have a injury situation that we need to be aware of. So the first thing that you'll want to do is, if you're using Fantasy Labs, you'll go to their latest news, and this is where you can see everything. So the player in question that we're going to be talking about is actually Reggie Bullock. He was supposed to start last night for the Pistons, and he wasn't feeling well. He was a game time decision, and it came out that he was going to be missing time the whole game. Anytime there's an update on Fantasy Labs with someone being out, you'll see right here the Fantasy Labs updates it in the timestamp so you can know how current they are. So what to do with injury news. So the first thing that I highly recommend doing, if I can find it here, is creating Twitter lists. Gotta find my list. I usually use the app, so I'm not that familiar with Twitter's website here. So let me see if I can find my list. Here we go. So I have several Twitters. This is one of them, one of the first ones that I set up. And you'll see here that I have a list for every single NFL and NBA team. So yesterday I was in my Pistons list, and let me see if I can scroll down to about when the Bullock news came out. It's going to be quite a few tweets here. Okay, almost there. Apologize for the delay, but I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So obviously there's a ton of content here. Jeez Louise. This might not have been a good way to keep this thing entertaining, just me scrolling through Twitter like a jabroni here. All right, almost to before tip-off. And that's the thing with DFS. You want to look for any edge that you could possibly get. So the news that Bullock might not play came out about 15 minutes, but the Fantasy Labs update that they send out, that's the next thing that I'll show you, didn't come out until about 3 minutes. So that didn't leave you a lot of time if you're scrambling to get it in. So we're almost where we need to go. Jeez, this was such a bad idea. I apologize, guys. Who would have thought there'd be so many freaking tweets about the Detroit Pistons? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So these are the tweets that I'm referring to specifically. So this first one, Rod Beard is actually really one of the best beat writers, and he is DFS friendly, so he usually gets us the information that we need when it comes to the Pistons. So the first thing I want to do is click on this tweet. So look at the timestamp. That's 3:45. So I'm on the West Coast. So on the East Coast, that'd be 6:45. So this information comes out, and Rod's doing his best to interpret it. Doesn't see Bullock in the pregame layup line. Not that it means anything. So at this point, it's definitely on my radar that I need to make some moves on Bullock. So at this point, I did a late swap and put in two other Pistons that were projected less than Bullock, but higher than anybody else. The second thing was this one right here from Zach Langlois. And this tweet came out at 3:51 p.m. So now we're 6 minutes later, 9 minutes before lineup lock, and we'll go to the Fantasy Labs NBA. And this is when the information actually came out. We'll try to scroll down and go through all their tweets. Hopefully we can get to the one I'm talking about a lot faster. 17 hours, a little bit further. Okay, almost there. Okay, so here's the Reggie Bullock ruled out, and this was 3:54. So by having a Twitter list, we had this information 3 minutes faster than the leading source that sent it out. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. The time is so precious leading up to lineup lock, especially if you're running a set of lineups. I run 150 per slate for NBA, and on the main slate, that takes some time. So every additional minute I get is precious. I didn't handle the move as well as I would have liked to, and that's a learning opportunity, and we'll talk about that next. The other thing that you want to do is follow all of Fantasy Labs' Twitters and make sure you're turning on the mobile notifications. So throughout the day, I'm getting all of the lineup news, all the practice reports, all the starting lineups, everything that I need, and that helps me stay informed on what I want to do. Now, in terms of what I could have done better last night with this information is, so let's go to yesterday's slate. And what I should have done is when Rod Beard's first tweet came out at 3:45 saying that Bullock wasn't in the layup line and he wasn't sure what that meant, I should have taken that as a sign to run a new set of lineups. So what I should have been doing instead of speculating is, number one, I did the right thing right away, is I global player swapped him out. And I put in Glenn Robinson and Langston Galloway. Neither of them did anything, but it's better to get 7, 8, 9 points than a flat out 0. The other thing that I should have been doing is I should have been running a backup set of lineups. So we'll just click 2 guys just so it'll run. So what I should have been doing in that 15 minutes is running my backup set, and then as we got closer, by the time the information that came out from the other beat writer that said that Bullock was out, that I would have, from 3:45 to 3:51, that's 6 additional minutes. My cruncher could have been able to produce lineups, and that's really valuable time, because when I finally thought of running a backup set, I only got 117 lineups, didn't get to the full 150, and then trying to get them plugged in did not go smoothly. I hit the submit on the upload about 3 seconds too late. So all of that scrambling and hard work led to nothing other than using the global player swap. So in the event of something like this, the protocol should be have your Twitter list, check it, monitor the news, have a contingency plan should he be out, immediately global swap the player out on DraftKings when you're worried about it, and I can show you how to do that. Might as well show you how to do that while we're talking about it. I actually do this through the app. Everything's on DraftKings. The functionality seems to be a lot smoother on the app. So what we'll do is you go to lineups, swap players, and I don't want to make you guys sit through another site load. So, okay, here we go. So select a swap. Normally you have to pick which contest you want to. It's here. You guys just have to play around with it. I want to make you guys sit through more time having to go through it. If it's something you guys really need help with, we can do an actual video on it. But that's what you would do. Monitor the news, have a plan, be proactive so you don't take a 0, and try to execute the best way that you possibly can. So I didn't execute as well as I would have liked to, and that's okay, because that's how we get better. So hope you guys were able to dodge the Reggie Bullock last night. And if not, and you're looking for ways to overcome that in the future, because this will happen almost every single night in NBA, I would anticipate it happens about 4 out of 7 days. So get used to it, embrace it, and the better you are at overcoming this, the more edge you're going to have. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Email me if you have any questions, and if you want to send me a tweet, have any video ideas, comments, feedback, feel free to give me a shout on Twitter @SwimJG.